Hello everyone, this is Dr. Smita Sakwate and I'm on a mission, Mission Beauty Sundarmi Honaras. In this mission, in next 3 years, I would like to make 1 lakh mid-aged women beautiful in next 3 years. So in this series, we have come up with a wonderful talk about lasers. Do you mid-aged women have hairs overgrowing on your chin area or your upper lip area? Then definitely you must have heard about lasers so much. And let's know what is the truth of the laser. We have here the most beautiful and the most intellectual Dr. Grishma, who is accompanying us on this platform from Hubli, Karnataka. Dr. Grishma has done her MBBS from SDM, Dharwad, and her diploma in dermatology from JJMC Davangere. And she's been practicing since last 7 years. And yes, let me tell you, she is doing a wonderful job in lasers. That's why we are here presenting the most beautiful lady who's working on with lasers. So welcome Dr. Grishma to our platform on Mission Beauty.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure always to be associated with you.
Wonderful. Dr. Grishma, would you like to add, because you have many feathers in your cap, so would you like to add any of the additional feathers which I have missed out, and definitely tell us where are you practicing?
Just before I could get back to Hubli and start my own setup, I visited a lot of places, tried to get experience in different cities, trying to meet different people. So from Maharashtra, I worked in Solapur Civil Hospital, then under your guidance, and then under Dr. Swapnil. So seeing a wide variety of patients from the civil hospital, from affluent class. Then after doing that, went to Bangalore to see the metro people. Then joined Aster CMI, where they were catering to international patients all over the UAE, Afghanistan, Maldives. So have an experience in trying to work on skin of different countries. And then came back to Hubli, my hometown, and decided to do something on my own.
So it's wonderful. She has been treating not only the national clientele, but definitely even the international clientele. Dr. Grishma, our mid-aged women definitely have, during menopause, excess amount of hair growth that is happening. So can you tell us what is the reason behind this excess hair growth, which happens on the upper lip, on the chin, and it really looks very awful?
There are certain common reasons before we go to specific that could happen. The hormonal imbalances from polycystic ovarian disease, which is one of the most common things that we see in women nowadays. Apart from that is certain drugs that they've been using, using minoxidil or DHEAs that could trigger the occurrence of hair. Then topical steroid abuse, in their cases, Cushingoid syndrome. Few races or family history, they genetically have increased hair growth in these areas. Apart from that, menopause is one of the most common things that women suddenly see hair growing in an area that they was more common of the men origin. So beard area or the chin that was commonly seen. This is because the female hormones come down and the male hormones that we have begin to rise. So that's one of the most common reasons why they have it.
Yes. So the take home back message is basically there is a hormonal havoc happening in this mid-aged women. That is one. And definitely the women who use steroid cream, like, creams for fairness cream they use, the steroid cream can have excess amount of hair growth happening. So these are the very commonest things. Definitely it is wonderful, Dr. Grishma, that you shared a great insight so that women will stop using any kind of steroid creams because they will become fair. But what about the jet black beard they're going to have? Definitely that's not a welcome sign. The women would like to know, do we really need to consult a skin specialist? See, you said that it is a menopausal problems. It's common for every woman to go through menopause. Then why should we consult a doctor or a dermatologist? What do you suggest, Dr. Grishma?
Basically, the occurrence of hair breaks down your confidence. So not only we don't feel good about ourselves, but we become socially inhibited because we are always conscious that people are looking at us. People are going to ask you that you didn't have such kind of hair. What happened to you suddenly? Or it becomes a flag that you're holding that I have menopause. So I don't think menopause is a time that we should give up on ourselves. It's still time to look beautiful and definitely get treated with laser hair reduction.
For me, I think so. For a woman, every age she needs to look beautiful. Age is just a tag, just a number according to me. So I think at every age, every woman has a right. It's a birthright for her to look beautiful. And definitely you should visit Dr. Grishma's clinic because you are going to have the taste of looking beautiful because she looks fabulous and definitely she makes each and every woman who walk into a chamber look all the more beautiful. Dr. Grishma,
Thank you.
highlight on what exactly is a laser. See, so much is heard about laser and people read about it in newspaper or magazines. But what is the understanding? And many times people just walk into a chamber, doctor, can I do laser treatment for everything? So just could you put some light on this? What is a laser?
First, to break down the word, what is laser? We define it as light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. So what happens here is the device emits a specific wavelength of light. Now this light, when it falls on the skin or the hair, the pigment, that is the color imparting substance, it takes over the energy and gets destroyed. This is how the laser works. So most of us think that the laser is available for everything. Any skin problem or any disease that you have, the best and the last resort that you can do is like, I've tried everything, now just give me the laser. But there are specific lasers and can be used in specific circumstances only. So the thermal destruction of the follicle, that is the hair root, is what matters here in hair reduction.
Yes. How will the laser help in the laser hair reduction, Dr. Grishma?
As I said, the specific wavelength of light, we target at something called melanin. Now, melanin is present in the hair and the skin, gives us our skin color and the hair color. So the first thing that we do before we start our laser is shave and prepare the skin because we don't want a surrounding skin damage because melanin is present in the skin also. So once we do that, the laser is specific to the hair follicle itself and it gets heated and causes a gradual destruction. Now, this can happen only if the hair is in a growing phase. That's why lasers are always done in sessions and not a one-time procedure.
What are the different lasers available for this hair reduction, Dr. Grishma?
There are lots of varieties from long pulse NDR, long pulse Alexandrite and ruby laser and diode laser. So how we choose the laser is like if you are a fair skinned person with a dark hair, then we prefer Alexandrite and diode laser. If you're a fair skinned person with light hair, then again diode and NDR would be preferred. If you're a blonde hair, then a diode. So basically diode can be used in various combinations of the skin type, color and the hair.
And I definitely know that you've been using laser since past couple of years. And what is your experience about it?
We've had fantastic results and people, especially those with hormonal imbalance, coarse hair, thick hair, tired of going to the parlors and shaving at home, have been really happy about it because the density comes down. Otherwise, even if you thread, shave, wax, do anything, that black root is always visible. So by doing the laser, that is avoided.
That black root appears like small pigmented spot and it, it looks like a hair only eventually.
Yeah. So
How do
eventually
you
everybody
advise-
knows.
Yes.
Everybody knows that you have hair, but you've just camouflaged it.
Yes, yes. So it's like, chand pe daag hai. So those small
Yeah.
specks are seen. However you try to camouflage it, definitely they are visible, like, those pops up. How often do you call your clients, and what is the advice that you give when you choose a client to go in for laser treatment?
First thing is they have to be mentally prepared that it is not 100% or complete hair reduction. Like they cannot be devoid of hair, or there is no hair that is going to be there. A good result would be about 60 to 70% of hair reduction. Now, different people have different results. So, generally, I tell them to notice the color of the hair, the density of the hair, and the growth. So, all the changes could occur in all these factors. So, the diameter or the thickness of the hair could come down, or the color from being jet black could, lighten, or the growth may get delayed. All these are good results. So
there are three things that you need to observe once you're getting your laser done. Is it thinning out? Is it lightening in color? Or is it not growing back much faster? Like, normally people thread in every third day. It comes very fast back. So even if it is growing slowly also, definitely you should understand that your laser is doing a job. How often do you call Dr. Grishma?
those who have a fast growth cycle, the first few sessions once in 20 days and then once in a month. And if eventually by fourth or fifth sitting that I see that the growth is getting delayed, then by 2 months.
Yes. So initially it could be once in 20 days or once a month. And once it delays, definitely once in 2 months. Many of the advertisements which say, laser hair removal, how would you like to highlight on this point more specifically? Because people come with that expectation, and let's make the point very clear to the women that what expectation they need to have. So it's not laser hair removal. I would like you to highlight on this point.
Yes, it is not use. Like if you have experience about even 50% of the hair that you have gets destroyed, and whatever is destroyed, yes, it is permanently destroyed. But also in certain cases, you need maintenance sessions. So the sessions is only to prevent regeneration of the hair follicle. Some people also experience that they've had laser sittings early in their life, and once they are menopausal, maybe in the same area they get back the hair, but that may not be the recurrence or the reoccurrence. It could also be because of the increased testosterone that's triggering a new hair follicle formation. So many people think that, oh, we've got so many lasers done and now the hairs come back. But that's not the case. If they have an hormonal spurt or PCOD cases where the PCOD becomes imbalanced, it can come back. So it's not 100% and it's not absence of hair. It's a reduction process.
Yes.
And definitely IPLs are not lasers.
Yes. So take home back messages, don't expect hair removal. See, no sooner you do threading or waxing, you see a thoroughly clean skin. But that is not going to happen with laser. It's going to become very fine. It is going to be less visible. So it is reduction. And this point needs to be put into brain that this purely laser hair reduction. Dr. Grishma, do you do any kind of hormonal workup, or do you think it is necessary? Because there are many people who are not experienced or don't have a degree, and they just go ahead with the lasers without having any backup. Well, let me not comment on any community, but definitely this is happening rampantly. So what is the role of a dermatologist and the whole hormonal workup? What do you think, Dr. Grishma?
It is very important to get your hormonal assays done before we start our laser sessions, because if the male hormone or DHEAs, or when a lot of people have even prolactin levels that are elevated, So when there is an imbalance of hormones, then no matter what we do, it's not going to subside, or sometimes there could be a paradoxical trigger as well. Whereas they've come with a little bit of hair and they go back with a lot of hair. So that can happen if the hormones are not checked, not suppressed. So in case we find that their testosterone levels are elevated or DHEAs levels are elevated, we always start off with anti-testosterone medications.
So, very, very important, I know. Many a times people say, I have done so many lasers and it has failed. I have spent so much money. But then why it has failed? Because the reason is the hormonal workup has not been done, or it has not been suppressed. So many times, in simple explanation, I always tell my patients that if you are watering the plant and you're cutting it, what is the point? If somebody is watering it, the plant is again going to regrow. So that's how the hormone works. So you need to be aware to go to the right person who does your hormonal workup and then chooses to go ahead with the laser. So definitely this is a wonderful point, Dr. Grishma. Many women have fear about laser. They think lasers are harmful. They think laser has burnt away their skin, or the laser has left some pigmentation problem. So how do you highlight on this particular question or the fear of the women, Dr. Grishma?
Generally, most of the lasers, as I mentioned, all 4 of them are very safe, and we rarely see any side effects. The immediate effect that we see is redness or slight swelling that will eventually subside by icing the skin or using a mild cooling creams. That would subside. In a very rare cases, there can be discoloration of the skin or post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. Again, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, predominantly, most of them subside by about 4 to 6 weeks. And those which do not subside will need to be treated. But then if done at the right energy level, a right operator who's quite competent with his laser, we don't normally see such kind of side effects. So I don't think people should get that scared about coming for lasers.
Yes, so you need not hold on to the fear that, lasers can damage, laser can, burn the skin, or laser can, land up with pigmentation. One of the laser specialists whom I attended and, I learned my procedures, he always said, it is the person who's behind the laser. Just check the intellectual status and the person, what is their educational status and what knowledge they have. Only then the laser is going to work beautifully, because it's a knife you can give in a robber's hand or you could give in a surgeon's hand. So difference is that. So please check before you enter any laser center to, have a qualified cosmetic dermatologist who's experienced in it, so that you don't land up in any kind of side effects like any of your neighbor or your friend has landed up. My next question to you is, what is the end result, Dr. Grishma, our women need to, expect from the laser treatment? At the end of 6 sessions or 8 sessions, what is the expectation they need to have?
They need that the hair will be comparatively lesser, much lesser on fine as compared to their previous hair. The results will be at least about 60% of the hair will be destroyed and will not grow back. That is what they should expect. And even if the hair is visible, that most of them complain, it's a very fine hair or a baby hair, and that which they can thread or wax if they want to.
And most of the time, the baby hair is not very visible because it's a vellus kind of hair.
Yeah,
we do have few hair on our cheek.
Yeah,
also,
most of it.
So it becomes very less visible unless you're very conscious that you want a hairless piece of skin. Yes. Definitely my next question to you, Dr. Grishma, is what are the do's and don'ts for the laser that the women should follow?
The don'ts before the laser will be, don't bleach the skin, don't come completely waxed or threading your skin. don't have a suntan, use an appropriate sunscreen before you plan your schedule. And after the session, don't go swimming or don't go use a sauna for about a week. Don't go in for chemical peeling or exfoliate your skin in 1 week. And yes, also do not use any photosensitizing drugs like retinoids or certain antibiotics when you're planning your lasers. Now, during the lasers, it is compulsory that you wear a protective eye shield because that's protecting you from the harmful rays of the sun. I mean, the laser, sorry. And shaving the skin for preparation is again important. Most of them ask us, why are you shaving? But that we are doing so that, your skin doesn't get damaged. And it's one of the most important steps. The next one is to use a sunscreen for the next week and protect yourself from the exposure of sun.
The take home back message is, please don't bleach yourself. Please don't thread. Please don't wax. If you need a laser, you need to show the doctor where your hairs are growing. Only then the doctor is going to diagnose it and plan for which all shots they want to give. Dr. Grishma, women definitely want to know which are the different areas where they can undergo this laser, even if they don't have, like it may not be overgrowth of hair, but are the normal areas, can they undergo laser treatment and how often and what are the results? What are the different areas?
Yeah, the commonly lasers can be done on any part of the face, that is the upper lip, the chin, the neck, the cheeks, that is common. Then underarm area, again, women are very concerned and want to wear sleeveless. So underarm is something that we can do. Bikini area is another area that is commonly done. Apart from that, yes, you can do it on the hands and the legs if you're a person who's frequently wearing shorts or frocks or dresses. So legs are again an important area that we do. Now, each of the sessions would vary based on the area that we are shooting because our body area has different growth cycles. So the number of sessions would vary, and definitely the underarm, the upper lip, the chin area have fantastic results. And the legs and hands, we don't do it as frequently as a month or something. Space it out in 2 months because the hair grows comparatively slow as compared to the face.
Yes. So for a lady who wants her underarm hair to be gone, how many sessions would you advise and how often you want her to come to your clinic or any clinic?
Once a month and about 6 sessions. Definitely, again, depends on how thick her hair is, but 6 sessions would be minimum.
So that was really a wonderful, great insight about laser and laser hair reduction. Women are really concerned, even if they have hair loss or if they have an overgrowth of hair in some unwanted areas. So hair can be a hair raising topic, and Dr. Grishma has definitely answered all the hair raising questions and the doubts and the fears. I'm sure all of you women definitely have brought great insights from this wonderful discussion which has come up with Dr. Grishma, who's practicing in Hubli. I would definitely like the women to share this video with all your women folk friends and as well your relatives, so that it's every woman's birthright to look beautiful and ageless. So why not stay tuned with our series of Ageless Beauty of the interview series across the country. We are going to give you the best possible dermatologist talking you and giving you the greatest insights on various subjects which relates to beauty. So I'm extremely thankful to Dr. Grishma, who has given us a great insight, and definitely I would like to ask at the end, Dr. Grishma, can you say a few words about what Mission Beauty and Dr. Smita Sakote? Would you like to say something as we end off the session?
Dr. Chakote, Dr. Smita Chakote, I will have lots to say, but I think she's doing a fantastic job of taking beauty to everybody's doorstep and easily available, easy to understand, and people will eventually know whom to go and what to get treated, and make them aware that yes, they need treatment. So who better than Dr. Smita can do that for her? And she's, I think, an idol for every woman. And Mission Beauty is, I think, high time that all of us start in a small way. Beauty is, as said, is as important as our health. It's nice to look beautiful, nice to be appreciated. It gives you a sense of well-being. So we dermatologists are here to make you feel beautiful.
Thank you, Dr. Grishma. So stay tuned, and definitely all the viewers there, please do ask us any questions about these lasers through YouTube and Facebook, and we will be more than happy to answer you. So here we sign off. Thank you so much, Dr. Grishma, and may God bless you. You are a most fabulous and the most intellectual dermatologist I have known. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.